Coronation Street's Lisa Swain to make risky mistake in Brody storyline. Brody is left in peril. Coronation Street's Brody Michaelis has a terrifying brush with demise subsequent week after Lisa Swain arrests him. Alone in a cell, the youngsterager suffers a seizure that leaves him subconscious, placing his lifestyles at the line. It's truthful to mention Brody choices the incorrect day to land up DS Swain. Starts our Corrie insider. Lisa's in no temper for his mischief and is derived down tough whilst he crosses a line. However, her impulsive movements inadvertently positioned the lad in a totally risky state of affairs, and there can be large outcomes for all involved. Since being launched from the STC and settling returned into lifestyles at the outside, Brody hasn't precisely made many friends. His tearaway antics suggest maximum of the locals are doing their exceptional to influence clean of him. However, the cocky youngster cannot assist pushing people's buttons. In the temper to get on a person's nerves, bored Brody objectives Daniel Osborne, who is attempting to quietly get on together along with his day and seize up with a few work. Teasing his former STC teacher, Brody is annoyed whilst Mr. Osborne refuses to upward thrust to his riling. Upping his game, he receives extra demanding and the state of affairs escalates simply as a sure copper seems at the scene. Daniel is fuming whilst Brody finally ends up spilling a drink over his work. Exhibits our insider. Brody thinks it is hilarious and only an amusing prank. However, Lisa has witnessed the whole lot and threatens to arrest him for harassment. This units off a dramatic chain of events. And quite quickly there is absolutely not anything to snort approximately. Carla Connor arrives to the surprising sight of Lisa slapping handcuffs on greatly surprised Brody, which even she will see is a really harsh response. Swain by no means suffers fools gladly. However, has something else long passed on that day to make her specifically uptight. And is Brody unfairly bearing the brunt of her anger? Dragging the antisocial right all the way down to the station, furious Lisa tells Brody to drain his pockets. And he produces a bottle of capsules. Surly Swain straight away assumes they are a few kind of leisure drug, now no longer realizing Brody has epilepsy. The lad currently confided in Kid Green approximately his situation after he became determined mendacity in an alleyway having a seizure. Brody became sincere with Kit, however defined that it is something he chooses to hold at the down low. Mortified that Lisa has now visible his remedy even as being interrogated, Brody refuses to give an explanation for what the capsules are, so the bottle is confiscated as he is chucked with inside the slammer. Brody panics whilst he is locked up without his tablets. Our supply adds. He shouts out to Lisa he certainly desires the capsules, however he nevertheless might not say why. Lisa ignores him, questioning she's coaching him a lesson. However, later Brody has a seizure and collapses to the floor. Will subconscious Brody be determined in time? And what outcomes ought to there be for Lisa taking remedy from a minor? Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more movie spoilers next week. Goodbye and see you again.